Many watching this video have probably already seen the famous YouTube clip where Bruce Lee talks about his philosophy of being like water. Beyond that, many of us tend to remember Lee as an amazing martial artist and entertainer, much less a serious philosopher. However, Bruce Lee was anything but amateur in his pursuit of understanding. He would constantly read both philosophical texts and, later in his life, self-help books. His influences, including the likes of Krishnamurti, Buddha, Alan Watts, and Joseph Campbell, all were used to piece together his own philosophy of life, one that can be used in everyday experience, just as much as in the dojo. This video is sponsored by Fabulous, the #1 self-care app to help you build better habits and achieve your goals. One of the #1 habits that I know will make me feel better is meditation. And sure, at some stretches in my life, I've been able to sit down every morning and actually do it. But this doesn't usually last long. Inevitably, I forget exactly why I'm doing this, and my mornings fall back into scrolling on my phone and feeling stressed. That is until I started using Fabulous, a self-care app that makes it easy for anyone to develop and stick to healthy habits thanks to science-backed daily routines. As a result, you'll feel healthier, fulfilled, and more productive. Thanks to Fabulous, I've been able to start my mornings off right. It gives me daily reminders to meditate and reminds me of its benefits. Fabulous has really worked for me since it's 100% personalized, allowing you to choose either a sort of self-guided habit building or guided habit coaching approach. A premium membership unlocks all content. It also lets you restore and back up your journey progress. Start building your ideal daily routine. The first 100 people who click on the link will get 25% off a Fabulous subscription. In the heart of Chinatown, Bruce Lee was famously born in the hour and year of the dragon, a strong omen in Chinese culture. He would appear in many films while growing up, including a leading role in The Kid. He began to box while in high school and involved himself in a series of street fights. His parents realized that Lee needed to be trained in martial arts, and so they took him to China. There he met the infamous Ip Man, the founder of Wing Chun. While training under him, Bruce Lee would be very aggressive and would constantly try to win. Ip Man told him, "Stop trying to enforce a strategy. Get out of your head. You have to follow your opponent's movements. You have to be more fluid." Lee initially ignored his advice, and he was promptly sent home and told to not come back for a week. Lee spent his suspension perplexed by the Ip Man's advice. While meditating on a boat in the Hong Kong harbor, Lee became increasingly frustrated by the whole situation and punched the water. He noticed as he punched that the water simply moved out of the way and made space for his fist. Lee then tried to grab it, but it slipped through his fingers. Lee observed that water is gentle and soft, but at the same time, it is one of the strongest forces on the planet, causing storms and eroding rocky cliffs. Then Lee saw the reflection of a bird on the water's surface. He suddenly had a second epiphany. His mind should be like the reflection of the bird in the water. The water sees the reflection, but lets it pass through with no resistance. His emotions should also be noticed and acknowledged, but not resisted or entertained. From this moment, at the age of 17, Bruce Lee would begin to develop a philosophy of life that involved being like water. He would value the importance of being flexible, of being able to go with the flow of an obstacle rather than ignore or deny its presence. This meant he needed to be present of his relationship with his environment, and so Lee would also develop another idea, emptying the cup. As Lee states, the usefulness of a cup is in its emptiness. For him, emptying the cup meant letting go of preconceived notions, emotions, judgments, and making one's mind clear to receive incoming information about the present. Doing so opens one up to epiphanies and new ways of being. Lee would also practice meditation in order to empty his cup. He would not only do the traditional form of meditation, which involved long hours of sitting, but he would also meditate while jogging. He also used journaling to empty his mind of any new ideas and theories that he was working on. Years after his training with Ip Man, Lee continued to practice his philosophy of water. After a brutally long fight in Oakland's Chinatown, Lee would seek to adjust his philosophy of fighting to emphasize practicality, flexibility, speed, and efficiency. He would begin to move away from the rigidity of traditional philosophies, especially Confucianism, and instead embrace the chaos and creativity that is characteristic of street fighting. This eclectic philosophy was a practical one, a form of self-expression and self-actualization. that was intimately tied to the uncertainties and instability of life itself. For Bruce Lee, philosophy was a journey of self-knowledge, in spite of the suffering. As his daughter Shannon Lee paraphrases one of his old notes, "The medicine for my suffering I had within me from the very beginning, but I did not take it. My ailment came from within myself, but I did not observe it until this moment. And now I see that I will never find the light, unless, like the candle, I am my own fuel."